Help me welcome Dr. Tara Alexander.
We are a tribal people, and loneliness is a human emotion universally. When I talk with my friends about the work I'm doing, learning about loneliness, I get a strong triggering reaction. And as I give this speech about loneliness, it may create a strong triggering reaction in you. And you're being forced to listen to this speech today. So I'm here to give you some good news and to tell you about the hope that we're learning about loneliness. So we're all going to take a deep breath together and let it out. We're going to get through this together because I have good news for you. We all know that loneliness is not good for us. It's painful. It shortens your lifespan. And it makes it difficult to heal from illnesses. As a therapist with 30 years of mental health experience and as a life coach, I couldn't figure out why people who were struggling with loneliness couldn't get unstuck. I didn't learn anything about loneliness in school in my training, and there was no literature to help people with loneliness. It's not that people weren't talking about loneliness. It's in popular culture. Give me a number of songs, if you research in rock and roll, number of songs that have been written about loneliness. What number? Throw it out there.
100.
Keep going.
1,000.
Okay, less than that.
850.
320. All right. 320 songs. And that's not even including everything. So it could be 1,000, because I know they're not including one of my favorite songs, which is Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. He writes, sitting on the dock of the bay, sitting here resting my bones. And what's the next line? Oh my God, you people. And this loneliness
Won't leave me alone.
Yeah.
Right? Right. Okay. My next speech is going to be about 1960s R&B. I mean, so we know that it's in popular culture, but not everything is even being included because people are suffering. People are writing about loneliness. They're seeing counselors. What's going on? We know it's growing, but no one really studied it. Yeah, they studied it in older people, but they really didn't dive deep in middle-aged people and even younger people where loneliness is growing. How is this happening? We're more connected than ever. When they did dive deeper, they found that loneliness is so tangled. And that's because we're complicated. So let me break it down for you. We all have a unique thumbprint for people who are lonely. We have a unique set of factors that can cause people to be lonely. And that's why no one size fits all. We know that generation matters when it comes to loneliness, the age that you were born in. And so that's one factor. Older people are lonely for different reasons, that middle-aged people are lonely for younger people and even teenagers. Tom Hanks had a really interesting quote. Tom Hanks, he's like an American hero. And he said, the battles against loneliness that I fought when I was 16 are very different of those from the loneliness I fought when I was 27, from those I fought when I was 44. Loneliness can affect anyone. There are universal risk factors. Universal risk factors is just a fancy way of saying things about you that might increase your risk of being lonely. Here they are. Everybody brace yourself. If you are male, you might likely be more lonely. If you are a member of a minority group of any type, you know who you are, and I love you, Bob. If you are a caregiver, if you have a disability status, and if you are struggling financially. The thing is, you can't change any of those things. It gets more tangled. Now, if you're noticing that I'm mixing my metaphors, is it a thumbprint? Is it tangled? Then congratulations, you're paying attention at 7 o'clock in the morning. You are awake. There are more factors. People who are struggling with mental health issues are more likely to be lonely. We're not even getting into neurodiversity. And you know who you are, and I love you. People with depression and anxiety. But the X factor that the researchers have not yet talked about are people with trauma. Where I see people struggling with loneliness are people with trauma, because that creates attachment style issues, PTSD, social skill patterns that they are not yet addressing. There's a lot of bad advice out there. Enjoy your time alone. It's like telling a person who's drowning, enjoy your little swim. Get out there. People who are lonely have already tried that. But here's the good news. As the research is getting more specific, they are understanding the nuances of what's causing people to be lonely. And that research is trickling down to the clinicians and to the coaches. If you're struggling with loneliness, or you know someone who is, admitting you have a problem is the first step. You can look at your unique set of factors and start to untangle it all. My next speech will talk about what to do. And since I stepped into this speech, I can't wait to find out what I'm going to say next week. I'm going to talk about more specific solutions. Loneliness is a painful universal condition. It's a universal human emotion. And the research is catching up so that we can become more specific about the nuances of individual needs and help us all to become better connected. Thank you.